I tell you what, me and her, Sandra and I, we memorized like the
movies
word for word of white chicks. So movies like white chicks.
Very, very true. I mean, we know that by heart. We watched it 300 million times.
I'm gonna have a BF. What's a BF?
BF?
A bitch fit. I'm gonna write a letter. Dear
Mr. Mild Harper, I am a white woman.
It's obviously made in China, you know, like obviously. It's like that Bluetooth that's like connecting. Bluetooth connect. Anyways, everybody, today you will only see one Outcast host because Yasmin is on leave. Well, she's super busy right now, so it's like if you followed us from the beginning, you've probably seen her face, but if you haven't, let's welcome Sandra of Mytraveltreats.
Hello again. Nice to be back.
She's amazing. You guys should follow her Instagram, her Facebook, her YouTube, everything. If you want to just have something to brighten your day in your feed, this is it, okay? So, look at her face. Look at her. Like, she is a walking sunshine. And fun fact, we are actually BFFs. You know, like, I mean, I know that like Yasmin and I are really close friends like, from school, you know. Sandra and I had like, we've been friends since we were 4, and you want to say how you approached me?
We were actually neighbors and we played at the same playground. And at this point, I saw this girl and I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I want to be her friend. And my mom go ask her for her name. I was a pretty outgoing kid. Pajella was just there minding her own business. So I went there, popped her little bubble, and then introduced myself. Hi, I'm Sandra. What's your name?
I was shocked. I actually ran to my mom and I buried my face in her lap like an ostrich, you know?
Yes. Pajella ran away from me because she was so scared. I guess I was always like really like hyper, like really active out there child, and Pajella was not. Believe it or not, Pajella was really shy child. So yeah, her mom actually told me her name because she was too shy to tell me.
Another fun fact, my name is not actually Pajella or Paji. My actual name is actually Fazila. Oh, it's weird, right? But my mom's Filipino accent made it into Pajila. Then that made it like to her ears as Pajala. Then, you know, my mom is not the type of person to correct anyone. So she's like, all right, I'm Pajala. Then from Pajala, there's Paji, there's Pa, there is a ton. Okay, I get like very confused with my identity now. Like everybody's like, oh, what's your name? And it's just like, it's Fatima, you know. It's like, are you sure it's not Fatima? Like, how is it pronounced? And I'm like, anything you like prefer, like, because I mean, growing up, it's like, you know, it's either the Portuguese, which obviously I will use Fatima because it's like easier, or Pajella because usually my Portuguese friends are your friends. And Chinese friends, it's like Fatima because it has to be a Chinese word. And I'm just like, I don't know what my name is, dude. Yeah, and they're so like obsessed with like, I want to pronounce it correctly.
You know, like some people, they take it really to heart when you pronounce their names wrong. Worried about that, and they're trying to avoid that, I guess.
Probably. And it's like, it's crazy though.
It is, but that is the beauty of languages. I mean, look at different names because of all these different languages and all these different cultures.
That's true. All right, guys. Sandra went to school in Portuguese school, so it's different from Yasmin and I because we grew up like learning Chinese and like it's like the local stuff, so we're like boring. But for Sandra's school, she's more of like a Portuguese based school, so it's like a little bit more international, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely a little more international. I mean, I did kind of experience both because for primary school, Chinese school,
That's true.
and I was, like used to all the rules and all that. And then in fifth grade, I moved to the Portuguese school and I was like, what? They're not lining up to get into the classroom. Like, what? What is this? It's a
I
jungle.
can paint
Like,
my nails.
exactly. I was like, the girls have colorful nails. Like they're coloring their hair all different colors. Like, what is this? I was literally in shock of like the lack of rules, I must say. And I was like, what? No flag ceremony?
Oh my God,
No flag. I was like, no flag ceremony. You don't have to line up to get into the class. You didn't have to tie your hair. You could color your hair. You could paint all color nails you wanted.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's a jungle? It's a madhouse. I wasn't used to it at all.
And I was like, oh my God, I was so jealous because like you can paint your hair. And I remember like with my school, even eyeliner, they're like, what is this? I mean, stop right there. This is not prostitute house. Like literally like to my face. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Each type of school system, I mean, none of them are perfect. They have their defects for sure. And yeah, just a different style of education, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, at least Macau, you have a lot of choice.
That's true.
When it comes to different schools and education, not a lot, but at least there are different choices of different education systems and different languages too.
That is true.
That's why the kids now they grow up with a lot of choice of different languages that they could learn.
And
I mean,
also,
anyone up at least speaking 3 languages, at least.
Yeah, either that or they're the super local like Chinese people that only knows like Cantonese,
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if there's a lot of them because they sometimes even know Japanese. You know what I mean? Like it's not like if they're sometimes they just are so introverted that they prefer. Dude, what about Patua? Isn't that like an insider language in Macau?
Yeah, so Patua is actually a dying language. It is not spoken by so much. Some people in Macau, I mean, but there are a few like plays, music and stuff. There's shows every year that I used to love so much. And it's basically a language with Portuguese, Cantonese, a little bit of Malay influence in there. And it's just like a fusion that the local Macanese would speak. And it's actually really, really interesting. And actually one of my uncles, he was actually like doing a study on the language itself. Because like my family does have Macanese blood. So
yeah.
So one of my uncles was actually like doing a study on it because he was super curious to learn about this language and how it came to be and all that. And of course, the Macanese cuisine.
I like that mashup. Macazine.
So you have Patua, you have Macanese cuisine, and you have the Macanese people, of course, that are trying to keep this, what's it called, this culture alive, because it's completely unique. Like you cannot find anything like it around the world. It's a complete fusion.
That's true. I would say in Macau, like the biggest mixes, right? It's like mixes of culture. Like Macanese is a mix of Portuguese and Chinese, right? Like, I mean, Macau Chinese. But yeah, like, and but there's also the Filipino Macanese. Like you're in these two. Like you literally like go through like both sides. You say hi to everyone on the street. Every time we hang out a lot together, like in the weekend. Whenever we go out, and Macau's a very small city, so it's like if Sandra's mom, for example, because I always sleep over her house, like she asked for, we need milk, like we have to go down, and we can just go downstairs and buy it, like it's right downstairs. We'll be wearing our pajamas, and it's like you always have to bump into someone, and it's like hello, and she has to say hello because she's so nice, so she's like hello, and I'm just like I'm always like so quiet in the corner, like I
That
just
is,
wanted to like, be faster. We're such different type of people. It's hilarious. But
that is true.
yeah. And there is also another Portuguese that is Brazilian Portuguese, because we do go
Yeah.
to church every Sunday.
Yes.
And there were a lot of Brazilian Portuguese, which is
Yeah.
surprising to me.
There are a lot of Brazilians in Macau, especially in the recent years. There have been so many like moving to Macau, which is great, which is making Macau even more diverse, even more international.
Yeah.
They're introducing like so many things about their culture within Macau itself,
Yeah.
and great. This is great. So it makes Macau even richer, you know?
But yeah, it's like the accent is totally different. It's like I only know. Yeah, very different. We only learned the
Like,
Portuguese in our school. So.
but you learned Portuguese from Portugal. When you hear Brazilian Portuguese, like, is it much harder for you to understand, or do you still understand a little bit of it?
I understand a little bit if it's not that fast, and if I don't like divert my attention somewhere, which happens a lot.
Do you think it's harder than Portuguese from Portugal?
Yeah.
Like, which one do you think?
Obviously Brazilian, because Portugal Portuguese I'm more used to, because I hear from you and your friends, and also from school. Like we learn Portuguese, like how here they learn Spanish, in America learn Spanish, but it's like I was more into it just because I was a foreigner, and it's like, oh, easy A's type of thing. Yeah, but and it's more like Tagalog, I guess. The Brazilian Portuguese, I feel like it's stronger. Like bom dia, it's like it's very it's sexier. I know that.
Definitely
Definitely sexier.
And it's more beautiful. Like, it sounds like they're singing, it's like.
And the music, oh my god. It's like compared to folklore.
Oh my god. So much better. Last weekend, I watched, obviously on TV, I watched Anitta, a very, very popular Brazilian singer, and she was in Portugal. And my housemate and I, Mariana, we were watching the concert live, and it was wow,
amazing.
Wow,
it's just,
she was shaking her booty. It was amazing. The whole performance is amazing.
I would also compare this to Mandarin and Cantonese, because music in Mandarin is way more popular than Cantonese, I would say, because it's easier to make music with Mandarin. And with I feel like with music, maybe Brazil, like Portuguese sounds better. Do you think it is?
It sounds more musically inclined as well. Like the way they talk, you feel like they're singing. And I feel like Portuguese from Portugal is harsher.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people compare it to Russian.
That's true.
A lot compare it to Russian. I think because the pronunciation is much like harsher compared to Brazil. Yeah.
I've said this before. Sometimes some people, when they're discussing something like in Portuguese, like something very normal or like even like very funny, but then it sounds like they're saying something really serious. It always looks like
Yeah. And I've heard that before. And like a few of my Russian friends, they were like, oh my gosh, when you were talking, we thought you were speaking in Russian. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, I could see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, in Macau, growing up, like you said, you were studying Portuguese. You were also studying in Cantonese. And then in school, we also learned English. So that's languages right there.
So much. Then you also learned Tagalog from home. My mom didn't, because she was like, I don't want to confuse you, which was a mistake on her part, because you are speaking like crazy. So cool.
No, but even though, like, even with kids who don't have their parents teaching them their own languages, kids go to school and they already have 3 languages
that's true.
on their CV already done. You just have to go to school.
Yeah.
And you see that in like a lot of places. You don't see that.
Yeah, but at the same time, like with this, like same thing as Spanish here, like if you don't really use it, it will be gone. Like my Portuguese now is shitty as fuck. Like I feel like I really need to like practice it, obviously, but every time when I try to show it off with my like Brazil, like so many Brazilians I've met already, and I try to like speak in Portuguese, and it's like embarrassing. Só falo um pouco, That's all I say now. But yeah, and if you don't use it, it's gonna like it's rusty. It gets rusty.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. That's what I feel like with my Mandarin and my Cantonese. I haven't used it in like 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's hard. It would be hard. But you will get it back. I feel like it's there.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the study, the rough part. All these like languages and Portuguese, like type of Portuguese languages, remind me of the annual Lusofonia.
That was so fun.
So fun. So like every year in Macau, they would have this like really cool festival by old taipa, we call it, and it's like all of the Portuguese speaking countries.
Mm-hmm.
Countries in the world, like they would all like have a stall and like show off their foods and culture, and it's always super lit in the Brazilian stall.
Always. Oh, and they would have performances too, like they would do the dances from their country
and caipirinhas.
Yes, we had caipirinhas. They had Brazilian dancers. They had different. Sometimes they would even fly in bands from their countries. Mm-hmm. There was Bollywood dancing because we have Goa there. Goa,
Portuguese speaking in India. Yes.
Yeah. So nice. It was very, very fun. A lot of food, a lot of culture, a lot of dancing. It was nice.
There's the Portuguese folklore dance, the old Portuguese traditional dance. My sister actually dances that.
Yes, she danced last year, right?
Yeah, she went on stage and everything. Like, I would go with you. Remember in the summertime where you would have like summer classes of dancing, and I had nothing to do. I'm like, can I go with you? I'm sure you're gonna get back your Chinese skills. Like just one trip to China, and you just get your bargaining skills, and you just click it right there. This girl, so I mean, China border, like China and Macau. Macau is a semi-island. Do you call that like semi-island? Punto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a half island. Half of it is stuck to China, and that's why it's like we always have to tell people we're not China, but we're on China land, but not China.
Yeah.
You have to cross the border, okay? You need a visa. People need visas to cross. Yeah.
Everyone needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the border, like in the edge of the border, they have a mall where it's like underground mall where you can bargain almost with anything. I don't know about now.
I haven't been there in like since 2017, I think. Yeah.
But man, this girl is so good at bargaining. Like I feel bad for the person. Like she would go half the price. She starts half price at least, she says. But I'm like so scared. She would be like, because I always ask her. I would always ask Sandra, like, can you help me bargain? Because I really want this, and she'd be like, okay. And she goes, no, it's Mandarin though there, so it's like 50块. I was like, 不可以啊, and you're like, huh? And you're like, okay, just walk away, and I'm just like,
yeah, we walk like 不要.
We're just like, and I'm just there like, I kind of want it still, but then you're like, just walk, and then they 80% they will call back, like really 80% they will call back. Yeah.
But I think I got it from my mom though. My grandma, actually. No, my grandma. My grandma was intense. With my grandma in Guangzhou.
I remember. I don't understand why Guangzhou in Portuguese is Canton. Like, why can't they just say Guangzhou?
Because it used to be Canton. Canton. Because
it's like Guangdong. Guangzhou.
Yeah. Yes.
That is.
Guangdong, Canton, Canton.
That's a trip. See, now I understand. See, like the three languages makes us question everything. Like because there's so many perspectives.
If you check history, like the Portuguese went there and they were doing business in Guangdong, Canton. Yeah.
And that's why there they speak Cantonese. And it's like in the middle of China. It's like, right?
Exactly.
Like, and around is all Mandarin. So it's confusing.
Mm. It is.
Remember that street that smelled like stinky tofu? Oh my God, I remember. I wanted to barf.
But you see, like, in such a small space, you already have Cantonese and Mandarin. That's two separate languages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In just a...
Yeah.
Right?
And you cross the border, you go there, and then you see, like, why is there Spanish on the signs? They say Spanish because they don't know what Portuguese is, you know? They're like, at first, especially Americans, they're like, why is there Spanish on the road signs? Oh, it's like, okay. Because it's not English. Which is stupid because, I mean, not now anymore, but at one point, I think Macau is so international. Like, it's like, there's just so many people coming by, like, pop stars and like, yeah, like, and gamblers, like poker stars, because Macau is Asia's Las Vegas. And there's no English signs. It's like, they just...
But now, they're putting up the signs. I mean, I was at the airport before I came here. It's the airport, and they had like Chinese, then they had English and Portuguese. So 3 languages.
Mm. Well, hopefully the buses also, because remember the bus is like, hi, it's
that is
and it's like próximo coragem.
And you would think that it's easier now, you know, with internet and all that, but actually no, it's not a norm in different countries.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to learn. Like when I moved here, I was like, wow, okay. I thought English was like mandatory in schools, but no, not everywhere. Mm-mm. In Macau it is. You learned it since primary, I think.
Yeah. We do, but it's not like super enforced. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Hong Kong. Hong Kong is like everybody can speak English, like type of situation. Like they're very strict on their education. But I know, like, because I know people that like literally like would copy off and everything I do in English class. Like they don't want to learn English. You know what I mean? Like it's like far from it. But and until now, still asking me for translation, like on WeChat, and I'm just like, this guy's from high school. Yeah. I mean, with all these languages coming to America, trying to tell them I'm from Macau. It's in China. I speak Cantonese, and trying to tell them how I sound like this. Like, how do you sound so American? Like,
right.
I tell you what, me and her, Sandra and I, we memorized like the
movies
word for word of white chicks. So movies like white chicks.
Very, very true. I mean, we know that by heart. We watched it 300 million times.
I'm gonna have a BF. What's a BF?
BF?
A bitch fit. I'm gonna write a letter. Dear Mr.
Mild Harper, I am a white woman in America.
And then the guy comes in black and he's like, what's the problem here? And he's like, hello, Mr. Chocolate Man, or something like that. What did he say?
Did anyone tell you you look just like Denzel Washington?
He's like, oh, yeah. Yesterday, we had a football on the beach, and I immediately remembered the one that was just like, oh.
We can't.
Now I understand because it's hard to throw that ball, you know. Like American football, we don't have that. Like in Macau, we don't have baseball. We don't have American football. Like none of that. Yeah, trying to tell people where we're from and like what we are is always a bit like, okay, how would you say when I say, where are you from?
I always say I'm from Macau. I always say I'm from Macau, or I tell them I'm Macanese. And they always look at me and they're like, but you don't look Chinese. And I'm like, well, my mom looked now. And then I go on and on and on. And then they're like, but how do you speak English so good? Or this happened this week. This happened this week. They were like, oh, your Portuguese is really good. Because I was speaking to Portuguese person. And I was telling them I was from Macau, and they're like, wow, then how's your Portuguese so good? And I was like,
because we have colonized by
Portuguese in Macau, and I did go to a Portuguese school.
That's
and I was like, yeah. And then I told him a lot of my friends in Macau speak Portuguese like me, or even better.
so cool.
Oh, but like the English movies, definitely.
Yeah. After coming here to America, I realized there's so many accents. You know,
there's
like,
so many accents.
Yeah, of English. Like there's the country.
Like, or
Jersey Shore. Oh my God, coffee. You know.
Don't do that, Nicolette. Don't do that.
There's also Chicago is khakis. Khakis. Car keys is khakis. Like that.
Okay.
And, sometimes some like Tyler's family would say forward instead of forward. Yeah, it's just like small words, and I'm just like, but as someone that I guess grew up with so many languages, I find every change of a word like interesting, you know. And it's like sometimes I point it out to Tyler, he doesn't even notice, and I'm just like, it's fun. Exactly, he's used to it. Do you want to say some stuff and like, you know, like about your channel?
Okay. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you are interested in travel content, vlogs, photography, etc. from all over the world, even food from all over the world, make sure to check out Mytraveltreats. It's Mytraveltreats on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So make sure to check it out. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and have a good weekend.